If you're a listener of It's Not Normal, It's Toxic, you're looking to clear some confusion, but you cannot follow a path without having a plan. The Toxicity Profile Analysis, or TPA, is the tool that separates how you feel from what is actually happening. If you haven't taken it, go to my website and do so. It'll give you an idea of the level of toxicity that you are dealing with in your relationships. Now, if the results push you for further information, there is a one time offer on your results screen. The Show Me session, offered only through the TPA, is a private evaluation of which toxic traits are most prevalent in your life and Dr. Heidi's recommended steps to move forward. A portion of the cost of this session can be used as a credit when enrolling in an exclusive program with Dr. Heidi. Okay, so we're back and we're going to move right on to the next behavior that we often see in individuals who have a drive to be emotionally manipulative for their own security. Okay, that's another way that I define toxic person. I have a lot of definitions for them, by the way. I've been doing this for a very long time. But so far, since we've begun this stint of the podcasting, we've talked about the broken calculator and why a win for you is seen to them as a loss for them. Their glass house, we talked about, and how their public perception of them must always be reflected in a good light. If it doesn't, the chief editor who resides within the glass house is going to change the true script to make a story that shows them in a good light. We talked about the vending machine. This one kind of hit hard because that whole discarding thing can become very, very heavy, but it illustrates the demand of supply from you that they need, but they're only really going to invest if they indeed need something. But today I want to talk about another behavior, and that it's another one that's built into their personality for their own needs. And if you've been driven to question your sanity or your memory or your perception of reality, the facts of an event or the words exchanged in a conversation, this segment will be some validation for you. We're looking at the tactic that I refer to as the dry erase board. It's how they're able to deny their behaviors, their words, and their actions. They all have some little trick, right? Well, the dry erase board is another one. For them, you see, the past is not fixed. Just because it happened doesn't necessarily mean it happened, right? I know you can relate. It's not factual, it's not set in stone, and there is no official record, according to them. Rather, it's an evolving, living document, and it is always being edited. For the computer people and the tech people, it's a Word document, it's not a PDF. Past events are constantly scanned and changed and edited and maintained to support the single most important thing to them, which is their story of being the good, the correct, or possibly the most wronged party. With each repetition of the subject matter, or every time the past is recollected, or which every time a certain instance is talked about, they'll alter the angles of the story that may not be appealing to their character at that point in time. And each time the story is told, they look better and better. They may change different aspects of the story and they may look better at certain instances in the story than others, but you'll notice an inconsistency each time the story is told. When they need the advantage, the story is going to change. So things are added, things are admitted, things or behaviors may be made less severe or they may be exaggerated, but they'll morph the story into whatever fits their life and their needs at that moment. If a past event, a hurtful action, a broken promise, a clear lie contradicts the goal that they have at that present moment, that event's conversations or pieces of the past is actively erased from the board A new dry erase marker is gotten out, and that part of the story is rewritten. This is not simply forgetting or remembering it differently than you. It is a psychological process where the event is actually retrofitted. It's changed within their own mind to serve what is necessary for their needs right now. This is why there's been so many times that you have felt like they are totally off their rocker. They are remembering it nothing like it happened. The way they say they remember it and the way you remember it are not the same. It's because of that convenient little dry erase board they have. Understanding why the edit happens is crucial. Remember, I say all the time, we know what they do. We know what they say. Understanding why they are doing it and why they are saying it is where clarity comes for you. They have to cast themselves in a specific role at different moments in time. So if they need to be the victim in order to get sympathy or attention that day, then all the past hurts they caused are erased from the board, and all the past hurts they experienced are written in bigger letters on the board. If they need to be the innocent one, then the accountability or the fault or the blame that was on them in the actual situation is erased, and it's rewritten to where the blame or the fault or the accountability is moved entirely onto your shoulders. Even if it never happened that way, or if it happened a long time ago. This is why you feel like your memory, your reality, and your sanity feels faulty because it's always under attack. It's not about the truth. It is over how they need the document to read today in order to survive their insecure feeling right now. You may hear them tell the story one way to you and then completely differently to someone else. Have you ever called the authorities on them? This is a perfect example of them wiping off the dry erase board of facts and rewriting it in a version that would appeal better to the authorities or to the police. I remember hearing the new version each time an event was revisited and wondering how the present and real story got so far away from what really happened. The true facts of the story in my mind were not at all what was being repeated by my former. Your memory of the truth, your persistence on the facts about what happened, and your demand for reality is a direct threat to how they currently need that dry erase board to read. And they'll demand that you are the one who has mixed the story all up. You may hear things like, you only hear what you want. You only listen when it benefits you, or you never listen, or you turn things around in your head so that you don't have any fault. I heard that all the time. And in my mind, I'm going, no, that is absolutely not what happened. And we look at them and think, how do you get stuff so mixed up? Now, as you providing proof of the way it really went is always futile. It's a waste of time. No amount of proof is going to convince them to stray from what their dry erase board says. You can bring texts, you can have emails, you can have witnesses, you can have video evidence, and none of this will change their position on what happened. Why? Because you're arguing with the person who wrote the script and then changed it after the fact. And the thing about the toxic personality is once it's edited for a certain situation, they are committed to that version. They 100% believe that what they say each and every time they retell the story, even if they change it, they believe that version of it to be true. They believe it how they need to believe it, even when it's presented differently to different people. How it's being presented at the time is how they believe it happened. Even if tomorrow they present it a different way and tell the story to someone else, tomorrow they are gonna believe that version of the story. So when you come to them with evidence, they have to invalidate your evidence to protect the internal stability of them being presented as the one not to blame, or the one who behaved correctly, or the one who has a good memory. So at some point, because I learned this, we have to stop trying to prove the past to them. Your attempt to argue with them simply gives them more emotional fuel, and it leaves you standing in front of a continually changing dry erase board. They will continue to deny by changing the story on the dry erase board, and you will continue to try and prove your truth. And it's really nothing more than that same old thing we talk about. You're on a treadmill, and all it does is cause you to question yourself and find yourself in the same exact place. Now, some of this is definitely a form of gaslighting, the term that everybody wants to use these days. Your validation is this: your memory is correct. Don't question it. Your perception is valid. The confusion you felt was not a result of your poor memory, but a result of interacting with their very complex system of denial. The path to self protection is to stop arguing. Remember, through these new behaviors or these really laid out behaviors, I asked you to really observe. You don't have to do anything but observe, but start keeping track of what you remember. Document the truth for yourself. Keep your own internal record, or you can write it down. Some people are big writers. I never was because I was always afraid it was going to be found. But use it not to convince them of what you think the truth is, but to convince yourself that your reality is solid and it is real and what happened happened and the words that were said were said. This knowledge is your power to disengage from that confusing cycle of the dry erase board saying something and then the next day it's saying something different. Noting how many ways and times you heard the original story will bring you to a place where the dry erase board tactic can become predictable. Make note right now of some of the stories in your life that you remember one way and they're being told in a completely different light. How long have you been evaluating your next step? The good news is there is no wrong place to start. But if you're waiting for the perfect time to do so, there is no such thing. There is only the choice to keep doing what you're doing or to change something. You do not have to have everything planned out. Just choose the path that fits your current capacity. Remember, information is powerful. But then what? If you're questioning your situation, stop, make a plan, and follow it. Your first step towards validation is to take the Toxicity Profile Analysis, or TPA. This isn't just a survey. It's a resource used to understand the level of toxicity in your personal situation and a tool in which to plan your next step. Once you have those results, you will have a one-time opportunity to book a show me session. Together, we go over the results in detail, after which I can recommend which options in the Me service series will fit your situation and what you are personally ready for. It may be the 3-hour Validate Me session, or the 1-month intensive Understand Me program, or the elite 5-month exclusive Freedom Me life changing series. Choose the level of support that feels comfortable to you at this moment. Your next step can be found at coachingwithdrheidi.com.